Now in this lesson, I just want to go and try to show you here on what is the use of the header element that we have here. So let me just go and place it on top of our document here. Header. And the rest of the elements that we have here, I want to comment them out. So at least it will not no longer be considered as part of our final document. So let me just go and delete this. So at least we would know that we will now be styling our document based from our target goal for our project. So right now we have our header tag. This element represents a container for introductory content or set of navigational links. So it typically contains the heading content as we've discussed in our previous lessons about the content model. So usually you would find H1 to H6 contents here, or what we call the, so when we say heading content, that is pertaining to H1 to H6. So heading 1, so H2, so H3, H4, H5, and H6. And let me just go and press Control Alt or the Alt key. Hold on the Alt key here. And then let me just go and copy the heading name here. Then just go and replace it with this. And I'm going to save this. And once we go to our web document here, okay, and if I go and refresh it, you would see that this will now be showing up or showing us the text with the heading content that we have made here. So these are the, as you can see here, we have here the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. And those are the sizes of the font based from the type of heading that we have used in our document here. So let me just go and what's wrong with this part? Why did it not? Why did this not? Let's close that tag here. So you would see, guys, that we are, when you make a mistake, guys, you would see that's that's a simple mistake that I just recently made. I added a number 6 here and I wasn't able to close the tag here, and that's the same reason why all of this got comment the comment tag here did not apply, and it displayed the text that are here instead of just me wanting to give instructions to the browser to go and display the content of the heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the heading contents that I've specified here. So this is going to be a common practice for everyone, especially if you're going into the coding industry, programming industry. You will need to do some debugging. You will need to go through your code, try to identify what's causing it to not work properly. So that will be a common thing. So don't worry. It's perfectly normal, everyone. So always keep that in mind. Making mistakes can be perfectly normal. It's about how you try to look for that mistake. But of course, it will be better if you try to do it correctly the first time. That's the mindset that we set into our mind. It will always be good that we plan our document, we plan the architecture of our project. Okay? Some key things that you have to remember when using the header element that we have here is that we can use one or more heading elements. We can input a logo or an icon inside of the opening and closing header element, and we can have at least several header elements in one HTML document. Let's say, for example, in index.html, that's one of our HTML document, we can have more than just one header element. So I can also include a header element here, and I can put here an h2 element. So this is a heading 2. Okay, so that is perfectly okay. Okay, that just means that this is a uh, perfectly allowable um, method of using the header element here. So we can have more than just one header element. So here we are specifying that in this section, we also have a header that we want to be displayed as a header too. So if we try to go and save this and try to open our document and then try to refresh this, we can see here that, let me just also go and resize this. So at least it will be much better for us to be able to see it while we're working here. So we can now see that we have our heading 2 and we have our content here on our header element that contains the heading content from heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm hoping you're getting the idea here. So if we try to go and inspect the element, let me just resize this and then go to our header element here. We can see that the display default value is block. So these are the default values here. So again, I would want to re-emphasize and reiterate that if you want to be familiarized with the different default values of each of the elements, just use the developer tools and it will be redirecting you to the content of the box model of your header here.